You're tuning in to Natty News Daily with the latest and breaking natural bodybuilding news. Bringing you today's Natty News, your host, Leroy Rollins.
What is happening, guys? Welcome to another episode of Natty News Daily. We've got a massive update from the Canadian Physique Alliance, the CPA. They posted this 3 hours ago on their page with noting that this is the updated schedule for the CPA 2020 season. Now, unfortunately, there could be more than one error in this. We'll talk about the Coburg Naturals when we get to it, but they actually have the location wrong. They have it in the wrong city. So anyways, we'll get to that in a minute. So let's start off at the top. It says, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, competition dates may change, which of course should not come as a shock to anybody. All these dates are tentative. You know what I mean? This could change at any time, bearing restrictions in the city. Maybe the venue changes their mind. They don't want to host the event. There's all kinds of things that could go wrong and cause these show dates to move. But they note, please visit our website, www.canadianphysiquealliance.com, for the most current information. So starting off, first show is August 29th. So the end of August. The CPA schedule typically starts in April, so we've lost the majority of the year already to the worldwide pandemic. So August 29th, 2020, two shows. The first one, the Leigh Brant Muscle Classic Open, that's in New Westminster, BC, so in Western Canada, and then the GNC All Max Mindio show in Niagara Falls, which is the Mindio is an open regional show, so you can do that event to qualify for Canadian Nationals. And it looks like the first one too, the Muscle Classic Open, would be an open event as well. Moving into September 12th, we got two shows. The Natural BC Cup in Kamloops, BC, so again out west. And then the first show that I could potentially have athletes in is the GNC All Max Ottawa Classic. And the Ottawa show typically takes place in June, so it's been pushed back now to September, and hopefully this is the date that it can go ahead. That is a natural qualifier as well. Then the first kind of big show of the season, which I believe kept its original date, September 19th, the Ben Weider Natural Pro and Pro Qualifier. So a show where you can earn your IFBB Pro card, supposedly as a natural athlete. Supposedly there will be drug testing at this event, so we'll see. Hopefully it can go on. Mind you, it is in Toronto, and Toronto is kind of the hub in Ontario for cases of the disease. So, I mean, fingers crossed they can run it, but I'm a little skeptical of events running in Toronto just because of the severity of the issues that are going on there. So keep that in mind when you are trying to plan shows that you're going to do. September 26th, Newfoundland and Labrador Supplement King Open and Natural Championships. So looks like they're trying to bang out two shows on September 26th, and that is in St. John's, Newfoundland, so in Eastern Canada. And September 26th, again here in Ontario, another one in Toronto, the Fuad Abiad Championships. Moving into October 3rd is the first show, the GNC All Max Absolute Touch Halloween Masquerade. That's in Kitchener, Ontario. So some of these shows, guys, whether it's Kitchener, Mississauga, Ajax, Vaughan, they're all, in the Toronto area. So just because it's not directly in Toronto, there's still a chance that they could be moved around because of everything that's going on in the Toronto area. So like I mentioned earlier, keep that in mind when you are planning what shows to do, because I myself am a little skeptical of shows in Toronto still being able to go on even if some of the restrictions do get lifted. So October 3rd, we've got the Crush Cancer Classic in Kitchener. So those ones actually might be at the same venue. There's a chance that could happen. October 3rd again, Muscle Beach Fall Classic in Edmonton, Alberta. October 3rd, Summum Classic Open in Montreal, Quebec. And October 3rd, New Brunswick CPA Natural Championships in Fredericton, New Brunswick. So October 3rd, plenty of options for people to compete all over the country, really. Moving on to October 10th, again, a multitude of shows going on. We've got the West Coast Iron Van City Natural Showdown in BC. We've got the Coburg Naturals and the Legends Cup taking place in Coburg, Ontario, noting Coburg Naturals is in the morning, Legends Cup is in the afternoon/evening. So Coburg Naturals is a natural regional event, and the Legends Cup is an open regional event. So this gives athletes an opportunity to do both a natural and open show. Obviously, if you're open or enhanced, you're only going to do the one. But if you are natural, you can take a crack at both shows, which is kind of interesting, pretty cool. I know some of my clients are entertaining the idea of doing both shows since it is just in one day. So yeah, and you can qualify for both the open and natural national event. So you can kind of bang quite a bit of stuff out in a singular day for both events there. October 10th again in Manitoba, the Van Dyke Classic and BDC Natural Championships. October 17th, we've got one show, which is the National Pro Qualifier. So that is the untested national event where you can earn an IFBB Pro card. October 24th, two shows. We got the Popeyes Fall Classic and the Northern Classic. Popeyes is in Vancouver, BC, and the Northern Classic is in Grand Prairie, Alberta. And October 31st, Halloween, we've got the Classique Naturel Popeyes Supplements in Montreal. On November 7th, first show of November, the Flex Lewis Canadian Classic Championships. That's in Moncton, New Brunswick, down east. And in Niagara Falls, the Pro Amateur event there. November 14th, couple shows, King Kong Natural Championships, hoping to have some clients in that. I don't think that date was altered at all. I believe it was November 14th throughout this whole shenanigans that's going on. After that, we've got Alberta Open and Naturals in Edmonton and the St. John Fall Classic in St. John and New Brunswick. November 15th, the Mimi Capes Classic in Montreal, noting that's a Sunday, which for those that are frequent competitors, you'll know that most shows are typically on a Saturday, so that one's on a Sunday, so keep that in mind. November 20th, the CPA President's Cup in Vaughan, that's on a Friday. Again, another one that to take note of. November 21st is the Toronto International Pro Qualifier, so the Toronto Pro Show. Now, I would assume if that event runs, there will not be an expo. I think that's pretty much a guarantee at this point. After that, November 28th, the Ottawa Championships. That is the open event. So notice the Ottawa in September. That is a natural event, whereas the Ottawa Championships is an open event. And in December, guys, December 12th, the Vancouver Island Showdown in Victoria, BC. And some dates that are not confirmed yet. The Fitlog Classic in Quebec, the GNC Allmax Sudbury Northern Rock Naturals in Sudbury, Ontario, the Barrie Naturals in Barrie, Ontario, the Natural Pro Qualifier, which is an event that I am potentially looking at, which is December 5th or 12th, and the Stephanie Worsfold Classic in London, October 24th. So yeah, that's your CPA season updated. I'm not entirely sure if there's been a lot updated since they last post this. We talked about it in a video, but I figure I'd talk about it here on the news page and give you guys some insight as to what, I look at when I'm looking at this event for myself and for clients. The biggest thing, guys, is events in Toronto I would be skeptical of. So for me, looking at the Natural Nationals in December, mind you, that is in December, so there are increased odds that it would go on. But as of right now, any shows in Toronto, I think, are very hit and miss at this time. Whereas events outside of Toronto, taking the Coburg shows, for example, where I have clients in, the likelihood of them being able to run is much higher than the Toronto shows. And I did message the promoter of the Coburg Naturals because I know him very well, and he said, more than likely, no spectators, no sponsors, no booths, nothing like that. And keeping things very, very smoothly run while bringing classes in one at a time, so there's not a multitude of people in the venue or in a singular space, and just really trying to abide by guidelines and rules so they can let the shows run, give athletes an opportunity to compete while still abiding by the guidelines set out by the government for everything that's going on. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Comment below if there's shows you're looking at doing. And if you guys have any questions that I could be of assistance with, please don't hesitate to ask. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to follow the news page on Instagram at Natty_news_daily, and I'll see you guys in the next one.